Now, the Public Investment Corporation wants to sell off dozens of commercial and retail properties. The PIC manages civil servant pensions and is looking to expand its property portfolio. The disposal of its properties is being brokered by UK-owned real estate company Jones Lang LaSalle. I'm joined now by its Associate Director, Pepler Sandri. Pepler, good evening, and thanks so much for your time. Give us some insight as to why these properties are being sold, why the need to sell them now.
So the PIC, and thanks for asking me to join. The PIC, as the asset manager for the Government Employees Pension Fund, has made a strategic decision to shift its emphasis away from smaller management-intensive assets, property assets, to larger assets with longer-term leases in place. And for that reason, it's earmarked 70 assets for disposal. And as you mentioned, we're brokers on the portfolio disposal process. And it will then use the proceeds from this disposal process to allocate capital towards the larger, less management-intensive investment opportunities that are currently available in the market. And these assets are earmarked for disposal over the course of this year. We've earmarked or divided the portfolio into two tranches. We've taken the first tranche of 19 assets to market about 3 weeks ago and have displayed them on what is called the South African Property Exchange online. And we're expecting offers to be submitted within the next few days, with the submission due date being Friday, the 7th of May.
So what types of properties are we looking at due to be sold here? Because just looking at some of the information I have, it includes schools and data centers as well.
Correct. So in the first tranche, we've included 6 neighborhood shopping centers, 9 industrial assets, and 1 motor dealership, as well as an ex-EdCon training facility in Ormonde. In the second tranche, we'll be taking predominantly offices to market, along with specialized use cases, such as private schools, private universities, data centers, and student accommodation. Those assets will be brought to market on the 1st of July. So yes, a wide variety of assets across geographies, across provinces, but the predominant weighting of assets is they are located in Gauteng.
All right, well, just educate us, Pepler. I mean, are these properties still in use? Are they defunct? You have to wonder why these particular properties have been chosen to be sold off.
Well, it really is a function of the size of the properties. So we've, in the first tranche of assets, the sizes range from 1,500 square meters all the way up to 11,000 square meters. And it is also a function, the rationale for the disposal is that they are also management intensive. So in the majority of assets in the first tranche are income-producing assets, multi-tenanted. The neighborhood shopping centers are multi-tenanted, management-intensive assets. In the industrial space, most of the assets are either occupied or recently have been vacated, so allow for owner-occupier type of investors to acquire those assets. So there's a mixed bag really, but most of the assets are investment grade, located in established commercial nodes across South Africa.
Is it a good time, though, to be selling property of this nature, Pepler? I mean, and who are you looking at in terms of potential buyers?
Judging by the level of interest we've received since we started the process 3 weeks ago, we've been pleasantly surprised by the level of investor appetite. We've had over 500 people register on the South African Property Exchange. We've had several dozen non-disclosure agreements have been entered into. and we received several offers well before the offer submission due date. So judging by the level of interest in the first tranche, it seems to be good timing. And the reason for that could be there could be a number of reasons for that. But I think the main reason is that we currently have historically low interest rates. And we've also got a market which is dominated by private investors, high net worth individuals, and private funds, which are quite acquisitive at the moment. And as a result, assets of this size or smaller assets which fall within their investment criteria are attractive. And as a result, there's been a lot of competitive tension up to this point. Now, I would mention that when we go to market with the office assets, it'll be interesting to see how investor appetite plays out from the 1st of July. JLL research suggests that over 2.5 million square meters of vacant space was already present in the office sector going into the pandemic. And with the new trend of work from home playing out, it'll be interesting to see what type of investor emerges with regards to the office assets. There might be a number of conversion opportunities. There might be a number of repurposing opportunities within the office space. And so while the jury remains out on the sector as a whole, it'll be interesting to see what type of investors emerge for predominantly smaller office assets located predominantly in Gauteng.
So what happens to those properties where you say some of them still might have tenants? You said you're even looking at private schools, you're looking at residences, student residences as well. Are there any conditions attached? Will anything change for them with these sales?
So some of these schools, private universities and student housing operators have preemptive rights or rights of first refusal over the assets. So we are engaging with them in terms of those rights prior to taking them to market. The assets have been earmarked for disposal. If those negotiations turn out to be unfruitful, they will then be put to the market via the South African Property Exchange website on the 1st of July. So other than that, there wouldn't be many changes related to those assets going into the disposal, the public disposal process from the first week of July.
So is there a possibility they might have to vacate those premises then?
No, not vacate. What I'm saying is, with regards to the rights of with regards to the right of the leaseholder, the lease rights go before sale. Hier gaat voor koop, so their rights will remain in place. What I'm referring to is some of these leaseholders have a right of first refusal or preemptive right to acquire those assets, and we are exploring those rights prior to taking them to market. If they elect not to exercise those rights, it will be offered for sale to the market in the first week of July.